Ladies and gentlemen, day one of the New England Patriots OTA practice is officially in the books. Now, I believe this is actually day two, but day one of it being covered by the media. We got highlights, news, notes, analysis, observation, everything, right? So in this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know in or from this practice, including Kayshon Boutte, Kyle Williams, Pop Douglas, and Drake MAYE, a bunch of other guys going through practice today. We got you guys covered. However, before we dive into the video, I want to give credit where credit is due, and that is with all of the Patriots media members. You got Patriots CLNS, you got a bunch of guys, right? You're going to see some names at the top of your screen. Make sure you guys do me a favor and go follow them on Twitter or X, because, guys, I promise you, you will not regret it. They're going to give you all these highlights before I even can, so go give them a follow on Twitter or X. With that being said, let's kind of dive into the video. Now, the first thing we're going to look at here is just over the top bombs to some of these wide receivers. You see Drake MAYE, Josh Dobbs, and some of these other guys just building chemistry with some of these wide receivers. Really good ball here by Drake MAYE to Kayshon Boutte. Next up, you got Kendrick Bourne. One guy who we'll probably talk a lot about in this video. Kyle Williams went through some of these routes. He had a great day of practice. Probably one of the best plays of practice came from him today. There was Kendrick Bourne. Now we see number 6 is Javon Baker, a guy who, last year they liked in the 4th round. They took him. We'll see if he can end up, developing into someone they love. Here's Jalen Polk, another 2nd round pick of last year, another high-end wide receiver, trying to see if he can, make a big-time impact on this football team. Almost drops it. That's a double catch right there. Boop. Maybe not. Let me see it one more time. Look, it looked like it wasn't perfectly clean, not bad. And then you had 10, or is that 18? That looks like Kyle Williams right there, baby. Good adjustment in the air, maybe a little bit underthrown. Okay, this one's back to Polk. But yeah, Kyle Williams, 3rd round pick this season, looks really good thus far in camp, in OTAs. Now, this is a guy that Steve Smith compared him a lot to himself, right? Josh McDaniels is super hype about Kyle Williams. The difference is when you watch these reps here, Josh McDaniels is very focused on, hey, how are we going to adjust in the air? Are we going to go up and get this ball? Right, you can see him turn his head. He's going to really focus in on Kyle Williams. You catching that ball? Good. Next up, right? We're just trying to work on double moves. You see these wide receivers, as they get through their route, they're going to act like they're a pivot to the outside, and then boom, plant and go. Great job. And when you look at the actual reps of these guys, I want to see Polk's. One more time, I want to see Polk's ability to act like going outside. Boom, plant that foot and go. Not bad at all. Let's watch Kyle Williams. Okay, so Kyle Williams was interesting. This is quick, right? One more emphasis on that stop. But not bad at all. And then you see Pop Douglas. Probably is the best of them all. Yeah, he's got that nice little twitchiness to his game. All right, let's get into some more highlights. All right, we got another back shoulder fade here to Kyle Williams from Drake MAYE. Right, we're just trying to beat press off the initial release. As we get there, nice back shoulder throw. Not sure if that red line, so that's obviously not out of bounds. Out of bounds would be out there. We're trying to stay in between. Good job here by Kyle Williams turning up the field and going. Once again, great job adjusting. You love when your wide receivers can be ready for these back shoulders, stop on a dime, go get that ball. Showcases a little bit right there. Definitely love Kyle Williams. I think this dude could be a day one starter for this football team. Man, we're just getting started. Now, sadly, we don't have too much film to watch from today's practice as of yet, but I do have some notes that I want to tell you guys as you watch Travion Henderson up that left sideline. One note that I took away from practice from Mark Daniels was the defensive line, including Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, and Keon White, are absolutely explosive, and those guys are already creating a ton of problems for this New England Patriots offensive line, and they're putting out so much pressure on Drake MAYE throughout practice thus far. I know it's really early, but again, we want to see when the pads come on. We want to see these guys do it during training camp. But as of right now, the defensive line is going to be a wrecking ball for opposing offenses in the NFL. And one good thing about today's practice is actually Drake MAYE had a clean day. No interceptions thrown. That was a big, strong point of today's practice for sure. We saw some Ramondre Stevenson back out at practice. Now, he was limited a little bit, but was back out here. Mike Vrabel said he will play a massive role within this offense this season. And before we get any further into this video, guys, make sure you do me a favor. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. But most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Guys, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family, and we will be covering the New England Patriots throughout the entirety of this season. Not only does that include all and the rest of OTAs for the next week and 2 weeks, and then we get into mandatory minicamp, and then ultimately training camp will start up, and we'll have it all covered for you guys. But even after that, we got preseason football. We're going to be breaking down some all-22 coaches film. And then you got regular season football as well. So if you want all of this film, all of these highlights and news and notes and observations, make sure you guys subscribe, join the family. It's free, doesn't cost anything. And make sure you guys turn on post notifications. Okay, with that being said, let's carry on. All right, so I wanted to show you this post from Mark Daniels. He tweets out, Drake Maye in 11-on-11s was 9 of 17. Joshua Dobbs was 10 of 16. In competitive drills, Maye ended the day with a fumbled snap. No turnovers, but not totally efficient. Want to be a little bit better than that, but like I said before, the defense is in a really good spot right now with the defensive line. They got 2 really good corners. I mean, this defense could be, a nuisance for opposing offenses, man. We got to see big Will Campbell out on the field, as well as Jack Conley. Man, these guys are big. These guys are strong. These guys are physical. I am so excited to see how these guys can affect the offensive line as they build, that rapport with one another. Here's some more wide receivers going through some drills. I believe Jalen Polk and Javon Baker were the only ones to drop balls during this drill. You cannot be dropping. Now, I get it. It's very tough to see behind these little bags, but you cannot drop those balls. Here's one of Javon Baker dropping that one. It looks like you just swat that thing down at the line of scrimmage. I mean, it was just, not really too sure what's going on here, but they do drop these two. One receiver that has been standing out among everyone is Efton Chisholm, the third. He continues to stand out. He's quick. He's elusive. Mark Daniels quoted saying, it's going to be interesting to see if and how far he moves up the depth chart this summer. Travion Henderson, very, very explosive during today's practice. The guys that were limited was Michael Wenu, Jalen Polk, Kyle Duggar, Vidarian Lowe, Jared Wilson, Ramondre Stevenson, Jacqueline Roy, and then Wilfried Panay. So we also saw Miles Battle intercept the Joshua Dobbs pass that was dropped by John Giles. Javon Baker did make some nice plays outside of that drop. No Diggs or Matt Collins in practice today. Like I said before, Jalen Polk was limited. The starting wide receivers with Drake Maye were Kendrick Bourne, Kayshon Boutte, Pop Douglas, and Kyle Williams rotated in a ton as well. But ultimately, a really good day at practice today. We don't have too much film to kind of go over, and I do apologize for that. But ultimately, I do think these guys are getting better each and every single day of practice thus far. Now, with that being said, I am going to end the video here, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications if you want more of these Patriots updates throughout the entirety of the season. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.